him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack 'em a gob, it's time for the only news that matters. And Dave Evans holds a unique place in history as the original singer of AC/DC. And though the vocalist left the group in 1974 after just 2 singles together, he remained an active musician, unafraid to share his thoughts on the state of rock. During a recent conversation with Mexico's Rock 111, Evans claimed rock music's popularity has declined because they're not playing it on the radio. The last rock band signed by a major label was about 20 years ago. I'm not talking metal. I'm talking about rock and roll, rock music. There hasn't been a rock act signed for 25 years, so if people are not hearing it, how can they like it? You play it to them, they love it. Evans went on to draw a line between rock and metal acts, offering pointed criticism of metal. He says, rock and roll is an attitude, a real attitude, not a pretend one. Metal is a pretend attitude. They get up there and they go, roar. It's bullshit. They get up there and paint their faces and yeah, they go home and to their mamas. Mama, what's for dinner? But rock and roll, it's real. Evans' criticism weren't isolated to metal, as the singer also offered his pointed opinions on modern artists. He says a lot of modern music's pretty clinical. It's very clinical. You go back and listen now to bands like Led Zeppelin and Free, and when you're feeling it, man, really feeling it, this music today, it's boring. To me, basically, there's no humanity. There's no humanity with that music. It might be clever, you know, and they might play all chords and all sorts of stuff, but there's no feel. That's the humanity of music. And these guys, they do all that busy shredding stuff. There's no humanity in that whatsoever. It's a fact. Like Carlos Santana, he plays one note. That's humanity in music. Not playing a lot of notes at high speed. That's what you're supposed to do at home so you can play melody. All right, Dave Evans, the legend, huh? You know, most people, you know, your average, you know, fan out there, you go up to them and you say, hey, who's AC/DC's original singer? And they'll say, Bon Scott. And then you say, no, he's not the original singer. And then they'll say, get your head up your ass. Bon Scott, he's on the first album. Whatever the fuck happened before that, it's not my business. My business is Bon Scott being the original singer of AC/DC. Period. And as far as, you know, metal and today's music, look, it's to be expected, you know, like an old fogey like this, be saying stuff like that. Man, I'm an old fogey myself, nowhere near his age. I have to be at least 20 years younger than the guy. And, you know, I feel that way about today's music, you know? But that's because I'm an old fogey. You know, new people today, they like that shit. There's people that like, you know, bands that use laptops and they pack fucking, you know, big ass feels for, you know, a DJ, you know? But, you know, as far as major labels signing new rock bands, I don't know. I have no idea, but I know there are some new rock bands out there. I can't get into it, but I'll give you some examples. Oh man, now Honey, what the hell is the name of that band? Honey, I forgot. Something Honey. You know who I'm talking about. They're like one of these newer bands. The Struts. God, I know there's more. And I can't get into them, but when I hear them, it sounds like rock music to me. It doesn't sound like this modern mumbo-jumbo stuff. And chances are, Honey and the Struts were signed to a major label. And I know it hasn't been no 20 years. Am I right, people? Dirty Honey, that was it. I was thinking right now, I was like, is it Honey? The Honeycombs? No, Dirty Honey. But anyway, so Dave is like, he's like me, I'm no different than this guy. I don't get today's music. But the young people today that are into those bands and stuff, they know what's up. My opinion and Dave's opinion doesn't matter because we're wrong if we're going to talk bad about it, and I'll give you an example. Dave Evans saying that rock and roll is a lifestyle and metal is not. The guy is definitely wrong there because he's older than me, right? I know so many people that are metal that live on their own, that tour the world, and they kick some ass. I got many friends out there, doing it. And they ain't living with mommy. They haven't lived with mommy in decades. So they're out there doing it, slugging it, and keeping metal alive because they live, breathe metal. Metal is really a lifestyle. It really is. I consider it a lifestyle. I'm in it. I live the metal lifestyle. But the metal lifestyle has no rules. The metal lifestyle is to live the way you want to live and never ever pretend to be something you're not. Ever, no matter what. And don't live with mommy. That's another metal thing. You don't live with mommy if you're into metal, all right? Once you live out on your own, that's when, you're metal. And Dave Evans wouldn't know this, but Dave Evans wouldn't know Fame either. I mean, I'm not goofing on the guy. Actually, I am. Come on, dude. This is his way to keep his name out there. Jesus, he's on the only news that matters. He's doing something right. You go on out there and, you're the guy that only released a couple songs with AC/DC. Just a couple. And now you're like the authority of what's metal and what's rock and roll and this and that and the other thing. Yeah, no, you're wrong. But, you're old, dude. I get where you're coming from since I think today's music is soulless and sucks balls. But there's people that like it that are looking at me like I'm looking at Dave Evans with the whole rock and roll is a lifestyle and metal is not. Get the fuck out of here. That old pompous attitude. I don't subscribe to that shit, man. I say it, metal's the best, but, I listen to other types of music, and I hate saying that. I really do, because you sound pompous. Like, I don't only listen to metal, I listen to other stuff, too. Well, so do I. I listen to ABBA and fucking a lot of classic rock. There's a lot of stuff I like. Bee Gees. I could go on and on of stuff that I like that's not metal. But you know what? It all takes a back seat to metal for me. Metal rides shotgun with me 24/7. And now and then I'll look to the back seat and have them sing me a tune, But metal rules. Metal's my favorite form of music. May not be everybody's, but who cares? Just care what you like. And I love metal. It's the greatest form of music ever. I like it more than rock and roll. And I love me some rock and roll. But anyway, what do you all think, man? Put in the comments below. I know all of you don't live the metal lifestyle, and, oh, I like to listen to those. I get it, yeah, so do I, but, metal's better. In my world, maybe not yours. But leave it in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to AC/DC with their original singer, Bon Scott, and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.